This is the future.
We all know that Kullervo is missing survivability on his kit, and Digital Extremes announced that they'll be adding some sort of shield gating mechanic to the overguard system of Kullervo. What it does is give the Warframe a 0.25 seconds of invulnerability after overguard breaks. And while I'm happy with this change, you still need to have enough energy always to recast recompense. As you all know, overguard is close to non-existing when you are up against steel path and beyond enemies. It's not good survivability right now since it melts in seconds, and I'm hoping that somehow, Digital Extremes will also allow mods like Adaptation will work on this defensive ability, giving us enough time to regenerate energy to recast recompense and use our other abilities at the same time. But right now, there's no other way for Kullervo to survive in Steel Path and beyond without the help of Helminth builds. There are two popular builds right now that the community is using right now with Kullervo, but before we discuss it here, let's talk first about what Kullervo ability can we replace with a Helminth or subsumed ability. In my opinion, his fourth ability, Storm of Yuko, is easily the most replaceable. Recompense, Wrathful Advance, and Collective Curse are the best parts of Kullervo, and Storm of Yuko doesn't provide anything really important to his kit rather than just a good source of AoE bleep rocks when you have hit enemies that are cursed by his third ability. Instead of Storm of Yuko, we can still achieve that huge damage with Wrathful Advance melee build, and even casting Recompense, hitting enemies with the daggers that are cursed does decent damage. Now, the first Helminth build for Kullervo that the community is using is the Muzzle Flash Kullervo build. This uses Mesa's shooting gallery with the augment called Muzzle Flash to blind targets within the range after you have obtained 6 skills. This is a superb combo, especially when you are with a team, as everyone is contributing to kills, allowing you to proc the blind mechanic constantly. It also pairs well with the range build for Kullervo since you can put overextended without countering the negative power strength with the help of blind rage. The most ability strength Kullervo needs is 200%, which is achievable with these mods plus Molt Augmented. If you don't want to stack and wait for power strength, you can also get power strength from the Argent Shard system. Another great thing about a Muzzle Flash Kullervo is that the blind affects enemies with overguard. Blinded enemies will not shoot, move, or activate XMS abilities. They are not, however, open to melee finishers, but that's not a big deal since the ability to crowd control overguard enemies is a lot better. So far, the Muzzle Flash Kullervo is the best build for this Warframe. It provides another layer of survivability through crowd control. There are other options if you don't have Muzzle Flash yet, or even don't like the build, but the other Helminth builds kind of limit you in terms of movement. The first one is the Quiver build, which uses Ivara's Quiver to make Kullervo invisible. This is the best survivability, as we all know. It's either invulnerability or invisibility that will keep you on your feet against beyond steel path enemies. The only problem with this build is that you are limited in terms of movement, since you will need to stay inside the bubble to kill enemies. In addition to this, you are also limited on what you can use with Kullervo. The safest weapons with this combo are with guns, as when you try to heavy attack with Wrathful Advance again beyond steel path enemies, there is a chance that you will get one shot even with the amount of overguard you have. So basically, you will be using Quiver for the invisibility, Collective Curse to spread the damage of your gun, and Recompense to gain overguard and apply some slash to enemies that are affected by Collective Curse. The last build is all about Resonator Kullervo. This takes advantage of Octavia's Resonator, and this is the second best build for this Warframe. The only downside of this is that it doesn't have that XMS counter just like the Muzzle Flash blind mechanic. However, it's better compared to Ivara's Quiver, as you can move freely without worrying to stay in one spot. Ivara's Quiver build for Kullervo is good, especially with rolling guard, as it lets you transfer spots, but Resonator is better in my opinion, since after you drop the ball, you can focus on killing enemies. In terms of the XMS units, or anything that has overguard, you can just focus on prioritizing and killing them before you proceed on murdering those trash mobs attracted by Resonator. The build I have shown you for Resonator Kullervo is not yet complete, and it's missing some range mod with Augur Reach. I don't have the former to complete it yet, but the complete build is a 265% range with the Conductor Augment at the Exilus mod slot. The augment is very important since this helps you relocate the Resonator ball to spots where you would want to gather enemies. Now, as I have said in the introduction part of this video, there will be upcoming changes to the overguard mechanic of Kullervo. I think that still, Warframe players will be using this build instead of the original Kullervo skill set with updated 0.25 seconds invulnerability after overguard breaks. I don't want to jinx it, but I still have this feeling that the 0.25 seconds of invulnerability won't be enough. In addition, Digital Extremes said that they will let power strength scales with Kullervo's overguard, but that won't lead to anything if there's no sort of damage reduction to the overguard. No matter how high the values, it will just melt away in seconds. Well, unless they are planning to stupidly buff it that it's now like Rhino's overguard iron skin. If that happens, then there's no point in subsuming a crowd control or invisibility skill into the Warframe and focus on more power. I would also like to know your opinion regarding this build and the future buff for Kullervo. Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Squad Leader signing off.